Schmo with the pro, with undefeated MMA fighter, one of the most decorated collegiate wrestlers of all time, Bo Nickal in the flesh, UFC 285 Fight Week, Las Vegas, Nevada. How we doing?
Doing awesome. Just getting the weight down and kind of counting down the days till I get to fight. So just super pumped overall.
This is your first official fight week here as a professional UFC fighter, man. UFC 285. Jon Jones, Cyril Gane doesn't get bigger than this.
Yeah. Being on this card, I feel a lot of gratitude and appreciation. Definitely have a big opportunity. So I'm prepped. I'm ready. Spent a long training camp, 12 weeks getting ready for this fight. But I'm gonna definitely make the most of it and put a great performance on Saturday.
Here we are inside your Airbnb, man. This is your first professional UFC fight. You're already calling your shots. No host hotel. You got your Airbnb here.
Yeah, man, that's just how we do it. Got to make sure that I take care of everything I need to take care of, and just more comfortable here and whatnot. But gonna have all the boys around me and stuff for fight week, and yeah, have a good time.
What do you make of your opponent, Jamie Pickett? 2-fight losing streak. He desperately needs a win, maybe to stay on the UFC roster. Who knows how that goes? What do you make of him?
Yeah, well, I've done a lot of film study on Jamie. I think he does a lot of things really well. Obviously, has lost his last 2 fights, but still a dangerous opponent. So I'm making sure that every box is checked and I'm fully prepared for this fight. So making sure that I'm just really very aware of the whole thing going down and everything that's going to happen in the fight. And I don't really want to. I just want to make sure that I'm taking care of business out there.
Do you visualize the outcome? How you get your hand raised Saturday evening?
Yeah, I think when I look at the outcome, I predict a finish first round. Whether it's a knockout or submission, I'm not really sure. It's a lot of volatility in fighting and whatnot. So for me, I'm just going out there looking forward to competing to the best of my ability. And overall, I think a finish is more than likely.
There he is. He's confident as always, but talk to the Schmo for a second. Not 1, but 2 Contender Series fight, Season 6, Dana White's Contender Series. What did the boss man say to you to finally, get you over the hump and finally give you that contract? And obviously you're being rewarded by being here on UFC 285.
Yeah, I think that it made a lot of sense taking a second Contender Series fight, just, coming into Contender Series at 1-0, not a ton of experience, so I wanted to get as much experience as I could, and I think they just wanted to see a little more. So getting that second fight, I think, was really good for myself in the experience and for the UFC as well, just in the more understanding I'm more of a sure thing. And so, now giving me this big opportunity at 285, I feel a lot of support from the company and a lot of push, so it's all good.
Certainly the hottest prospect in mixed martial arts since Khamzat Chimaev. How do you like those comparisons to when he's coming up and to Bo Nickal right now? What's the biggest difference maker between you as a prospect and Khamzat Chimaev?
Yeah, I think that there's obviously going to be a lot of similarities just with the style and the way we've performed in our fights up to this point. He's obviously a little bit ahead of me, and now he's fighting top 5 guys, getting really close to a title shot. But I think for me, I project that I'm gonna keep getting better and better, and I think eventually we're gonna have to match up, just with him being as dynamic as he is and as dominant as he is, and the same thing for me. So I think a matchup in the future will be a super fight. It's
gonna be there, especially if you get your hand raised, you keep winning, because he's now in the 185-pound weight division. Yeah,
that's exciting. I think that him coming up to 185 is awesome. I want to have as many tough guys in the weight as possible and make sure that I'm beating the best guys, because for me the goal is obviously part of that is to be UFC champ, but more than that, I want to be the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world. And so to do that, I got to beat the best guys, and I'm excited to keep developing and progressing and getting better and better.
Well, he wasn't the only one you called out on the mic in a post-fight victory. It was also Logan Paul. No, you're working with his brother Jake Paul.
Yeah, mad respect to the Paul brothers, great dudes, but we can run it at any point. So, excited to be part of Better and working with Jake. And if Logan wants to throw down in WrestleMania or whatever, we can do it at some point.
He certainly wants that smoke if it's there. But Jake, he just had his first professional loss in boxing. You know what it's like dealing with losses. How does he overcome this? Where does he go from here?
Yeah, tough loss, obviously, put a lot into that, and to see him, not achieve his goals is tough. But I think that the way that he's kind of responded on social media and what he said, I think it says a lot. Just definitely a high character and somebody that is focused on his effort and has a positive attitude, looking to continue to grow and move forward. So, experience and loss is just part of life. That's just something that everybody has to deal with. And I think that from what I've seen, that he's dealing with it in a very mature way. And, he didn't make any excuses. He just took it like a man. And I think that he'll definitely be better for it. For me, I look at my losses that I've had, and those are all super motivational and things that I look back on now with a lot of gratitude and I'm able to appreciate. So, I think he'll probably take that same perspective.
Would you trade a UFC championship for an Olympic gold medal in freestyle wrestling?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was hard to kind of transition to MMA when I did, having not achieved what I wanted to in wrestling overall. But I feel like that also kind of gives me a chip on my shoulder, and I still have that fire and that motivation to achieve my goals in MMA. And so, fully focused on winning that belt and continue to develop and get better. And so, yeah, 100%. I feel like the UFC belt is a lot more important to me at this point in my life.
There it is. Who's on your Mount Rushmore of greatest collegiate wrestlers of all time? You can include yourself.
Well, I think first and foremost, you obviously have to put my coach, Cael Sanderson, 159-0, four-time national champion, only guy to ever do that in college. So, he goes on there without saying. I think to continue that, when I look at it personally for me, I have so much respect and love for my teammates and the guys that I was able to compete with. So look at guys like Zane Rutherford, look at guys like Jason Nolf, Anthony Cassar. Those are all guys that I admire so much and look up to and who have achieved great things. And so I think that, most people probably disagree with me on their Mount Rushmore, but mine is all Penn State guys.
Things go your way Saturday evening. What does 2023 look like for Bo Nickal?
Yeah, I think that obviously first and foremost focused on this fight, accomplishing the task at hand and making sure that, I do everything I need to do to perform to the best of my ability. And then moving forward, just continue to get better, grow. Hopefully I can fight a couple more times this year and just get out there and compete as much as possible. I'm just really excited, especially being able to compete in T-Mobile Arena and have the fans and the crowd and all the pressure on me. That's, what I live for. So I want to do that as much as I can this year.
What are you going to say to Jon Jones when you run into him over there at the UFC PI or during the press conference?
I'll just, definitely watch a lot of film on him and appreciate all he's done for the sport, moving it forward in a technical aspect. And I think that, I admire him for sure as a fighter, and go get him, man. You don't need any advice from me or anything. I'll probably ask him for some advice, I guess.
What are you going to ask him?
Hey, man, just what's it like dealing with the pressure of the UFC, I guess? For me, kind of going through this whole fight week, the media, the attention, I'm used to that in somewhat as far as like what we get in NCAA wrestling and whatnot, but it's definitely a different level. So, just dealing with that, dealing with the relationships with people and dealing with all of that, just kind of would love some advice on that. But I'm sure he's got a lot of good advice for me in a lot of different areas.
Can we get a final message for all the Bo Nickal fans out there worldwide?
Hey, if you're a Bo Nickal fan, appreciate you, love you so much. So excited to fight. Every single one of you guys rooting for me. I'm going into the cage with all of y'all, so I appreciate it so much. Very grateful.
He's the pro. I'm the Schmo. Las Vegas, Nevada.